raise at least one child when buying a new or pre-owned house or flat. During the last 8 years, the Hungarian budget allocated 2 billion euros, actually it is 2.2 billion US dollars, for such family subsidy, housing subsidy programs. And the second aspect is what we call rural family housing subsidy. Because nuclear family is connected to urbanization. The generation of my parents, for example, left their grandparents who stayed in the countryside, and they formed nuclear families. I have one son, frankly, and he is not supposed to go back to the country, but it is very important to prove and sustain the life force of the countryside, both in Uganda and in Hungary, in spite of the different conditions. So that is why a different subsidy program was called into being for those young persons who decide to stay in the countryside, in their own villages, and raise a family there. It is non-refundable state support, subsidized loans, and tax refund support. And the second aspect I wanted to talk about is providing financial stability. In Europe, as in Hungary, the typical family pattern is that both the husband and the wife work, so they are engaged. Once they have a child, or prepare to have a child, this decision might entail loss of income. In order to remedy that situation, the Hungarian government provides baby expecting subsidy, family tax benefits, and interest-free general purpose loan at the amount of 30,000 euros. It is a considerable sum in Hungary if you take it into consideration. There are tax allowances, for example, for first-time new couples, personal income tax exemptions for mothers. At the beginning, it was for mothers with 4 children, then 3, 2, and now we are introducing personal income tax exemption for ladies who have at least 1 child. Another thing is that young people who have to create a family, establish a family, but at the same time, they have to launch their careers. I know it from the example of my son. So it means that it's a double charge or double challenge. That is why, as a very positive fiscal measure, young persons under the age of 25 do not have to pay personal income taxes in Hungary. And the third pillar I want to mention very briefly, what is we call promoting work-life balance. So if you are a lady with a brilliant career, the temptation is great not to have a child. So we have to remedy that situation as well through parental support. In Hungary, either a wife, but also a husband, are entitled for parental leave, which is paid. I think it's really important because this income, as I mentioned before, is very important to sustain family life. So you have to eliminate that problem. And that is one thing which is very interesting. Not only young persons or young parents can get subsidies, but older generations as well. The generations of grandmothers and grandfathers. It happens that both the husband and the wife work and want to continue to work because of the career obligations. And that is why the care of their children rests with the grandmother, which is socially a very beneficial activity. It means that the Hungarian state needs to provide subsidies for older generations as well in order to acknowledge and to encourage these socially beneficial activities. Just a very short concluding remark. I know that conditions are very, very different in Hungary and in Europe than conditions in Africa. But there is one methodological issue which is important. If you want to implement the policy, it is not only through rhetorics and not only through regulations, but first of all through incentives. You have to incentivize people in order to orient them in the right direction. And I think that all these measures enumerated during the last couple of minutes show in that direction. Thank you very much for your